One night, when I was decently drunk after leaving a bar, I started messaging people on Tinder. Some girl named Alicia had messaged me, so I messaged her back. She answered almost immediately, asking what I was doing that night. I said I was just leaving a bar, looking for someone to hang out with. She wrote back, saying you should come over and smoke. I said, yeah, tell me your address. She sent back her address, and promptly, it seemed like the quickest, easiest, most ideal Tinder match a guy could ask for on a Saturday night. I called for a Uber to drop me off at that address. The driver pulled up in his Honda, and I got in the front seat. Usually I'll get in the back seat, but I was decently drunk and feeling extra social. The driver seemed cool. I was honest with him about where I was going and told him that I was about to meet a girl from Tinder. He laughed and said, nice. He started going on about his stories meeting girls as a Uber driver and such. On the way there, I asked Alicia for her number and she gave it to me. I started texting her and she gave me normal answers. When we got to the house, the driver said the house seemed very familiar to him. I had to admit, it did look a little sketchy, since there were no cars in the driveway and the lights were off. He told me to be careful. I thanked him and said goodbye, and he drove away from the block and stopped near the end. I'm guessing setting up his next ride. I walked up to the house and tried to ring the bell, but I didn't hear a bell from the inside, so I knocked on the door. Then I tried calling Alicia, who went to voicemail after one ring, but she texted me right away saying it was open, to come inside. Then there was a knock at the window, which almost gave me a heart attack. I looked at the window, and even though there were no lights on the inside, I saw the blind was slightly lifted. Someone was waving their hand on the other side of the window. Before I tried the door, a number not saved on my phone started calling me. I assumed it was Alicia, so I picked it up. But instead of hearing the voice of a girl, I heard the familiar voice of my Uber driver. He ordered me, in a very concerned voice, to walk away from the house right now. I then saw the Uber driver's car pulled back up in front of the house. He told me to get back in the car. I hung up the phone and listened to him. As soon as I got back into the car, he drove away from the house and told me that the house was vacant. Just the previous month, someone had been lured into the house, robbed and murdered. It was a story that likely could have been similar to my own had I stepped into that house. It was a lot for me to take in, but I thanked that Uber driver the best I could, and even took his number because he was so cool and I couldn't appreciate him enough. The next morning, when I was sober again, I got even more disturbed thinking about it.